Fortnite OG was said to bring back our favorite items, mythics, and POIs from the old days, but it's about time we realize some things will never return. In fact, there are 32 of them, and I am most sad about the Volcano. With Season 7 and 8 now on the map, it was nice to relive the snow biome for one final time, but where is the Volcano? One of the most iconic events of Chapter 1 was the gigantic eruption, and it won't be returning, which also means the final showdown is nowhere to be found. Because Pressure Plant isn't there, no mech will be built to stop the monster, and if you're wondering, yeah, there actually might be a monster. Leaks are showing it could come back, so what's gonna happen? Especially now that Polar Peak is missing. Sure, they may have added a ton of snow POIs, but the most important one hasn't made it to Season OG. Sadly, it has fallen off a cliff, which also means you won't find Fortnite's most controversial weapon. Back in the day, the Infinity Blade spawned here, and not only was it sought after, it ruined games. It's almost as destructive as Kevin the Cube. Sure, he's in the game right now at Loot Lake, but we never got to see the build-up as he moved around, leaving corruption zones and turning the lake bouncy. That still didn't change the map as much as rift zones. We're not in Season X just yet, but if you're expecting to drop in and yell, Taco time! I got some bad news for you. This also means we're not going to be able to enjoy Gotham City. This changed the whole of Tilted for a crossover, giving us explosive batarangs and grapnel guns. Obviously, collabs never stick around, so it's no surprise it's missing. But we are definitely shocked that one of the most OG POIs of all time has vanished. Everyone who played back in the day remembers the factories. The Sun Name drop became iconic overnight for just being a great place to land. Well, sadly, when the meteor hit, it destroyed the area, and even though it returned for Season X, we will not see that happen again. Now sure, the end event is still happening, but one major part of it will be absent. Last time around, they updated the item shop with an exclusive skin, the Paradigm. She was only released for 3 days, and after that deleted, never to return again. To this day, she is one of the rarest cosmetics in history, and it'll stay that way even in Fortnite OG. Players also can't believe that Epic decided to cut 2 massive POIs from the game. Neo Tilted and Mega Mall were so huge that it was impossible to not go there. From the Stranger Things Easter egg to slipstreams, people love these places, and when we heard Season 9 was coming back, everyone assumed this would be part of it. Except the 2 main locations aren't making a return, causing a ton of backlash and confusion, but there's a reason for this. Thanks to all these changes in the timeline, the Involing Event will never happen. In fact, there won't even be a vault. With no digging it up, there's no reason for the event to go on, which means we can't vote for an item to come back. Especially if that item is the Zapatron. Obviously, we have wanted this back for 6 years now, and time again, Fortnite teased its return. From hiding it in LTMs to putting it in the ocean, we thought if there was finally the perfect moment to unvault it, Fortnite OG would be the time. Yeah, we're probably asking for too much, but something that definitely should be here is the original Storm design. If there's one thing that made 2018 feel so nostalgic, it was this early hexagon shape. It seems simple, but if they would have brought this back, it would have made an insane difference. So with the OG pump, I think everyone's pretty happy right now with the shotguns that we have, but Fortnite decided to make it the Chapter 2 version, so we have no hope of seeing the original model back. If we're getting real OG though, people were slightly hoping that Double Pump would return. Personally, I think there was never a chance, and now that's been confirmed, so sorry Double Pump fans. 3 creators who were super talented with the loophole are Daquan, Hamlins, and Tfue, some of the biggest streamers of Chapter 1 that sadly quit the game a few years back. They have made returns over the seasons, only to continue taking steps away from the game. Players were hoping that Fortnite returning to 2018 would bring them back, and while there's still a chance, it's not looking good. And speaking of Tfue, it brings back memories of the World Cup. It's been 4 years since the last event, which broke records for the biggest esports tournament in the world. With a huge success like that, you would think Fortnite would plan to do one this year. With the OG season, it would have boosted the advertising massively, but they were busy with FNCS, so maybe next year. The pro players are also disappointed that Siphon is nowhere to be found. It's one of the most divisive features of Chapter 1. It would give you health after killing another player, making games 10 times more aggressive, and stopping people from just hiding in bushes or builds. Half of the fanbase loved it, and the others, well, they were not happy. Epic removed this, which was so controversial that it forced them to explain the decision with actual data, something that never happened before. Well, clearly they're still hanging on to that because Siphon will not be returning in Fortnite OG, and neither is the block. Just like Siphon, there's a reason why they didn't bring this back. As one of the most controversial POIs of Chapter 1, the block was an incredible idea when it began. It allowed us to design our own locations and get them on the map. Sounds amazing on paper. Then one user added a graphic scene into a basement. Things went south quickly, forcing Epic to delete the original location and never bring it back. That doesn't mean community-driven features should all be removed though. In Chapter 1, we had item shops that would let us vote on who to add. It would give us a few options to choose from, with the winner immediately dropping and the others releasing later. For some, this felt incredible, like we had power, and the rest wanted all of them to drop at the same time. As a result, this feature only happened 4 times and has never returned. Still It wasn't as exclusive as the Galaxy skin though. This was only for people who owned a Samsung Galaxy Note 9 or Tab S4, which cost between $700 and $1,000. People used to raid stores and play the demo phones to try and earn it for free. It was a big deal. Of course, as an exclusive, this skin will not be coming back, even if Samsung is joking about it on Twitter. Not the only collab we wanted to see, the first crossover in Fortnite history was the Avengers LTM, allowing us to play as Thanos and setting the stage for the rest of the game's future. Sure, this happened before the events of Fortnite OG, but Epic brought it back in Season 8, making Thanos totally possible for a return. Now sadly, that didn't change Fortnite's mind, and his Infinity Gauntlet will stay in the vault for the time being. Speaking of LTMs, we haven't had one in a long time. Thanks to the rise of creative, Fortnite stopped working on special modes like Disco Domination or Floor is Lava. In fact, when the new season dropped, we got files added for LTMs like Throwdown, giving people hope for others like One Shot, High Explosives, even Sniper Shootout, but it turns out we were misled. Sure, the files are there, but Epic straight up added all of the old content back because, well, they just imported stuff from 2018. As a result, the LTMs are still gone for good. Just like Happy Hamlet, we have finally got to experience Season 7 all over again, but unfortunately, the POI won't be joining us. It is totally absent from the game despite being a fan favorite place to land at. Back in the day, this was one of the best places to get loot. It was full of chests, and yeah, it was an awkward part of the map, but there were plenty of driftboards available. And Happy's place in the vault is also joined by Starry Suburbs, a location that appeared in the early days of Fortnite, but also did appear during Season X. The second time it came back, they updated this with a rift zone, allowing shooting stars to fall from the sky, and inside, there was a chance of getting the legendary TAC SMG. Something else we all miss is the guided missile launcher. As you might know, Epic literally put this weapon in a TikTok just days before the season dropped. Everyone assumed it was coming back, especially since the original first appeared in Season 5. Well, obviously it's not in game, and the chances of it dropping in the next 2 weeks are slim. But not zero, unlike Lazy Lagoon and Sunny Steps. Now that we're technically in Season 8 and they're not on the map, it is way too late for them to release. These were iconic back in the day, whether you like shooting yourself from a cannon on the pirate ship or exploring the strange mysteries of Sunny Steps. We won't be able to do that again in Fortnite OG. And look, I can deal with that, but there is one thing I am personally hoping to see return: Cay and Fearless. These two are some of the most original and hilarious creators of 2018 Fortnite. They were in a league of their own, making incredible videos on new items, insane moments, doing it in style. Both of them sort of vanished off the face of the earth. And even though Cay has made occasional returns, we haven't seen him this time around. If there was one thing that bring him back, it would have been this. So I'm still hoping they upload before the season ends, especially when you realize Cay got an OG box sent to him. For now though, the chances aren't looking good. Even if they came back, they wouldn't be able to recreate one of the most fun experiences from the old days. Hopping on a quad crasher and using its boost to fly around was peak Fortnite. I mean, we're all known for taking a feature and completely breaking it. Whether that was inventing rocket riding or using these vehicles to fly, it was just pure fun to mess around. But for some reason though, Epic has removed this ability from quad crashers and nerfed their build damage, ruining pretty much the entire point of them. We also can't explain why battle stars are gone. On the OG launch day, files were added showing their return, and we were all incredibly excited, only for nothing to happen, which was a huge bummer. So because of this, people were hoping that challenges would be spiced up a little, with fort bites. These tasks have players logging on daily to build out the secret message. Unfortunately, that will not be happening this time around. Then we have a feature which never should have left in the first place. Throughout Chapter 1, Fortnite released a variety of toys to use, whether it's golf, basketball, bottle flipping, you name it. To date, they're the most interactive emotes we have ever had, and people love them. And so that's why it made no sense for Fortnite to stop releasing these. Now the OG island is back, only veteran players can take full advantage of the basketball courts and the soccer fields. Hitting a ball isn't the only thing veterans did with the pickaxe. Back in 2018, this only did 10 damage per hit, making it basically useless, but over time it was buffed to 20. Some players wanted to see the old damage back for this season, but clearly Fortnite disagrees. And that brings us to the item shop. We had two versions of this in the early days, from the season shop that forced us to level up before buying anything, to that classic design with barely any cosmetics in it. I will admit, Fortnite tried to replicate the old style with the OG shop, but it still feels off. Regardless, those are 32 things that'll never return this season. It's been Tommy, and keep it here on Top 5 Gaming.